Well, after he had done so many great horror films going into the late 70s and into the 80s, most of John Carpenter's flicks during the 90s weren't that big, except maybe for this one, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. So strap yourselves in as I review John Carpenter's Vampires. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doal, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1998 neo-western action horror flick John Carpenter's Vampires, released by Columbia for Largo Entertainment, well, through JVC Entertainment Networks here in the US, and by Summit Entertainment internationally. Directed by John Carpenter, with screenplay by Don Jacoby, based, well, maybe not based, but adapted from the novel Vampires with a dollar sign at the SES by John Stakely. Film stars James Woods along with Daniel Baldwin, Sheryl Lee, Thomas Ian Griffith, and others. Films is going to focus on a team of vampire hunters. Well, it's centered on their leader, Jack Crow. Well, it focuses on his efforts to prevent a centuries-old cross from falling into the hands of the first and most powerful of all vampires. Yeah. Well, this what did a little better than most of Carpenter's other films in the 90s. This was the most successful of those. Well, but I'll get to that later. Let's get started with the story. Jack Crow leads his team of vacuum-sponsored vampire hunters in a daylight raid on an abandoned house in New Mexico, finding a nest of vampires. The team subdue the creatures with gunfire, pikes, and wooden stakes, using a modified crossbow attached to a mechanical winch to pull them outside, where they are incinerated by sunlight. Despite disposing of 9 goons, Jack is concerned about not having found their older, more powerful master. While the team drunkenly celebrates with prostitutes at a local motel, the master vampire Valak arrives and bites one of the prostitutes, Katrina, initiating her transformation to a vampire. He swiftly murders the hunters, with only Crow and his trusted lieutenant Tony Montoya escaping alive with Katrina. Disturbed that Valak recognized him by name, Crow orders Montoya to lay low with Katrina, hoping to use her growing psychic link with Valak to track him down. After burying his team and burning down the motel, Crow reports to his superior, Cardinal Alba, who informs that Valak was a disgraced priest who led a rebellion against his church, leading to his execution and transformation into the first vampire. Valak has already killed another group of slayers in Germany, and Albert instructs Crow to form a new team, accompanied by archivist, archivist Father M. Gito. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Suspecting that his team was betrayed, Crow interrogates Adam and dispels his heroic notions of vampire hunting, showing him a map of vampire activity that indicates the vampires are searching the southwest for an unknown object. Guarding Katrina at a hotel, Montoya explains the changes she is experiencing. Horrified, she attempts suicide and bites Montoya when he rescues her, which he hides from Crow and Gito when they arrive. Crow decides to pursue Valak while gathering a new team, and Katrina is linked with Valak when he questions and kills a priest. Since Gitu is hiding something, Crow threatens him, recounting that he killed his own father for being bitten by a vampire and killing Jack's mother in front of him. Gitu reveals that Valak is seeking an ancient relic, the Black Cross of Berziers, and Crow welcomes him to the team as his new slayer. Using Katrina's psychic link, Jack, Montoya, and Gitu learn that Valak has roused 7 additional masters. They follow the vampires to a Spanish mission where Valak has slaughtered the monks and seized the cross. Gitu realizes that Valak plans to complete his own exorcism, making him immune to sunlight and virtually unstoppable. Searching a nearby abandoned town, they suspect at least 30 new goons have been transformed. Gitu volunteers as bait for the masters, allowing Jack to harpoon them and Montoya to drag them into sunlight. While he managed to kill most of his lieutenants, Valak and his undead army overwhelmed them at sundown. Crow is captured, Gitu takes cover, and Montoya and Katrina flee, only for her to fully transform and bite Montoya on the throat before joining Valak. Now for the ending, you know the procedure. 5 sentences up this video, go to the description box below, fast forward to the time below if you've seen the movie already. As I'm counting out, continue. Okay, you've been warned. Cardinal Alba reveals himself as Valak's ally. Having grown to fear death, he has agreed to help Valak recreate the original ritual in exchange for becoming a vampire himself. The ritual requires a participation of a priest and the blood and crucifixion of a crusader, Jack. Ghetto kills Alba before he can complete the ritual and holds off the vampire horde by threatening to kill himself and leave Valak without a priest. Montoya and Ghetto rescue Crow as the sun rises, and Crow confronts Valak, impaling him with the Berzier's cross and destroying him in daylight. Ghetto and Crow prepare to slay Montoya and Katrina, knowing their transformations are irreversible. However, to repay Montoya's 2 days of loyalty after being bitten, Crow grants them a 2-day head start. As Montoya and Katrina depart, Jack and Ghetto head off to kill the remaining vampires. End of story. So what did I think of John Carpenter's Vampires? Well, I feel like this is an underrated vampire film in my book. I've seen it a few times, and well, I've got to say it's pretty bloody and what have you in ways. I will say that I do like its score, which was done by Carpenter, which, again, he does a great job on this. And he even, well, is one of the members of a band that actually did some of the songs called the Texas Toad Lickers. Yeah, you better believe it, people. Anyway, I thought it was fine what have you. The film did open at #1, but it took a hard hit its following week. It went on to make 20 million here in the US on a 20 million, well, actually 20.3 million on a $20 million budget. Although worldwide numbers are not official, Carpenter said that the film was a massive success overseas, particularly in Japan, and pulled in well over its 20 million budget. It later went on to pull in a further 42 million on home video rental and purchase sales. And this was Carpenter's only financially successful film in the 90s, and today is the last financially successful film that Carpenter has directed. The film was originally released to varied critical reviews, appearing on both Best of the Year and Worst of the Year lists. Positive reviews were based on the film's acting, direction, and visual style, while negative reviews felt the film lacked a coherent plot or likable characters. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 42%, saying that, well, it was nothing but one showdown after another. Cinema Score was not thrilled with this, giving it a D+. The Globe and Mail called it crude, rude, nasty fun. At afilmcritic.com, one review called it grungy, disreputable fun. The kind of blood and tequila western that can only be made nowadays when disguised as a horror movie. Definitely. The New York Times gave it a bad review, saying it was ridiculous without being awful enough to be hilarious. Yeah. Other critics saw the film as mediocre at best. Roger Ebert said that the film has a certain more in more in humor and charm, but was ultimately not scary, and the plot is just one gory showdown after another. The Austin Chronicles stated, the reviewer enjoyed the film's cinematography, which he described as a comic book brought to life, but further noted that the film takes itself far too seriously and suggests the film may have worked better as a dark comedy. Well, I will say I don't think it would be as good as a dark comedy though, but still pretty awesome though. In one of the most positive reviews, Gene Siskel called it a high action homage to westerns and classic horror that actually has a unique story and masterful cinematography, and a film that should put Carpenter back on the map as a horror director and a film director in general. Definitely. And he also expressed his fondness in the fact that the film starred an all adult cast without any teenagers and portrayed both vampires and hunters in an original way. And at the end of the year, he placed James Woods as his pick for Best Actor suggestion to the Oscars. Well, John Stakely, the author of the original novel, liked the film but said it contained much of his dialogue and none of his plot. Well, that's understandable. It got nominated for numerous awards, mostly at the Saturn Awards, where James Woods won Best Actor, film won Best Makeup, and Best Music from Carpenter. But Daniel Baldwin won Worst Supporting Actor at the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards. But anyway, I think Vampires was pretty good and what have you. Again, as I've said, it's a pretty underrated film in my opinion. But you be the judge. Now, as for our cast, we have James Woods playing our main hero, Jack Crow. He was very good, and I liked his performance. Well, despite winning a Stinkers Bad Film Award, I don't mind Daniel Baldwin playing Tony Matoya. He was good. Sheryl Lee played Katrina. She did pretty well. Tim Guinee played Father Giteau, and he was good. And Thomas Ian Griffith played Valak. Very good. And Maximillian Schell played Cardinal Alba. Not too bad. It had some other people in it as well. So anyway, I think Vampires, again, underrated film. I think the story's fine as it is. It does have a pretty good score from Mr. Carpenter, a pretty good cast in my view, and the characters are fine as well, in my opinion. This would later get two direct-to-video sequels, which I haven't seen them, but I've heard of them. Vampires Los Muertos, which came out in 2002, and Vampires the Turning, which came out 3 years later in 2005. Or I might have seen that same one, but that's been a long time ago. But anyway, I might look into them and review them another day. But anyway, with everything I've said about this film, would I recommend John Carpenter's Vampires? Well, I'd say sure, go ahead. If you are a hardcore fan of John Carpenter films, then give this one a watch. Or you're into those Western films that kind of has a little something else extra blended into it, this would be right up your alley. So, what did you think of John Carpenter's Vampires? Let me know in the comments section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a spoiler-free review of The Nun 2. So, I do hope you liked this, and if you did, check out my reviews for these other vampire films. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the Friday Night remake from 2011. The upper right-hand corner is my review for, what I think is probably the best vampire flick in my book, The Lost Boys from 1987. Or if you'd like something else from John Carpenter, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of another one of his 90 films, and that was In the Mouth of Madness from 1993. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.